will let you die in jail. They will let you die.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to another video. Andrew Tate was just live on Betty Johnson, and he goes absolutely ballistic. I loved everything he had to say. You guys have got to check this out. We're going to get right into this. Let's load this up.
Sponsored incarceration, lawfare, and abuses of justice for political reasons, has had his free speech silenced and limited, has had his freedom of movement and thought silenced and limited, and has fought through at every measure, and is now on the precipice of victory and looking at potentially running himself for office. We're going to ask all of these things of Andrew Tate, who joins us live now. Andrew Tate, top Jeeve from the podium.
From the podium, yeah, because I'm basically de facto the Prime Minister of the UK currently.
This is the seal of the UK government? Is that in front of
It's the seal of the Bruv Party. This is Britain restoring underlying values. So that's my seal and that's my party, and we're going to take control of the UK government and save it from the decimation that it's currently facing.
I got to tell you, Andrew, this is a first for our program, and we love the podium look. It's very official, and we look forward to getting into your politics and into your race and into your brand new party. However, massive breaking news here stateside is, of course, the sentencing of President Trump, now a convicted felon. You know so very much about this, but whether it be you or Marine Le Pen in France or Bolsonaro in Brazil or President Trump here in America, there seems to be a global fight against the freedom movement, against populism and against free speech and free thinkers. You yourself have been a victim of this. And so I want to just set the table for you to sound off on your take, President Trump being sentenced today.
Yeah, that was a foregone conclusion. Anyone who believed that jury selection had anything to do with the decision that they were going to come up with for President Trump is extremely childish. That's not how these things work. When you plan an assassination, you don't plan to break into somebody's house and then forget to plan how to do the murder. They had decided to find him guilty of a crime. They decided to make it all up. They decided to find a corrupt judge, and they decided to find a corrupt jury. The only reason they gave him the sentence they gave him is because he won the election. Otherwise, he'd be looking at the rest of his life in jail. It's absolutely disgusting. And I don't know how anybody left on the planet is looking at these criminal cases and seems to think it's anything to do with law and order. And it's not simply just the Matrix trying to influence and keep control of the populations by destroying the head of the snake. Anybody who's truly large and has a huge platform, who speaks in a way that they fear, is going to catch a criminal case.
So Donald Trump caught 7 criminal cases, and they've all been atomized now. And I think that this will be overturned on a appeal. However, it did the damage and it had the intended effect. Do you believe that their intention was to kill President Trump in prison, either by having him live out his days in prison or through some type of Jeffrey Epstein means?
Yeah, their intention was to lock him up and put him in jail. And also their intention is to make sure that they can slander him permanently, which is what they do to me. A lot of people, even on the conservative side, are still childish enough, post all of these Trump accusations, post-COVID, post all the lies they've told us for all of this time, to sit and say, Andrew said something bad on the internet 10 years ago, so he's actually a bad person. That's not how this works. What they do is they slander you and they trial you by media so that every time your name is said, they do not talk about your points of view and they do not talk about your accomplishments. They talk about what you are accused of. That is the primary objective. So they don't have to say Donald Trump, former president who tried to save the economy. They say Donald Trump, rapist, or Donald Trump, convicted felon. It just gives them a way to deflect from somebody's actual achievements. And that's the primary objective of all of these things. And the same thing has happened to me. So their intention was to lock him up, put him in jail forever. But outside of that, they also want this thing that can constantly parade around and pretend it means something. I don't think convicted felon means anything anymore. I don't care that he's a convicted felon at all, because it was a kangaroo court and it was a setup. And I know it was a setup because I've been set up. All of it is. And they can find any person on the planet. I want to make something clear to everybody at home. Every single man who is watching this now is guilty of something. If they get a prosecutor and they say get him, you're guilty of something. You forgot to dot an I, you forgot to cross a T, you slept with a girl in high school, doesn't matter what it was. They'll find it, they'll lie, they'll slander you via the media. And the saddest thing is that people on the conservative side believe this garbage. They believe this crap that comes out of the mainstream media. It's a setup. It's find the person, I'll find the crime. And it's all a foregone conclusion in kangaroo courts.
Yeah. Maybe you can speak to that on a grander sense, because I do note this. Even today, there are conservatives that are, oh, Pete Hegseth. Oh, wow. He said or did something. Oh, he did something so naughty. We got to pull Pete Hegseth. He can't be Secretary of Defense because of something that happened 10 years ago. Or Brett Kavanaugh. He's currently on the Supreme Court. He's somebody who voted against President Trump being sentenced today, saying this is totally out of order for you to sentence someone who's about to become president, the chief executive, in 10 days. So Brett Kavanaugh they did a number on him. And this is kind of the playbook, right, against Kavanaugh. And there are still Republicans and conservatives today who who clutch pearls over these things. And I think that they're useful idiots.
Oh, they are useful idiots, because this fake morality and this moral grandstanding is why we have been losing to gays and transsexuals and children who don't even know what gender they are, and anime fans. The reason we've been getting destroyed by some of the least competent members of society is this pathetic grandstanding from people on the conservative side who cry their eyes out that 10 years ago someone made a joke on the internet, or 10 years ago somebody slept with a girl. We need to grow up. We need to all grow up.
Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. I agree with this guy 100%.
And understand that nobody is perfect, and that this is about the politics and not the politician. It's about what someone's views are and how competent they are in their job. We're the only people who are policing our own side with these ridiculous moral standards, while the other team will let felons, thieves, drug addicts, it doesn't matter what they do, come in and abuse the law to destroy us. And then we want to sit there and wonder why we're permanently losing. 10 years ago, did I make inappropriate jokes on the internet? Yes. Am I sorry? No. We're grown-ups. It was 10 years. Get over it. I don't want to be seen as a squeaky clean good guy, because those squeaky clean good guys do nothing to aid the fight. They sit and hide at home waiting to be told what to do by the Democrats. It's men like me who are prepared to go to jail. Men like me who are prepared to go arrested. Men like me are prepared to lose their life and lose access to their children. And men like me make jokes that aren't necessarily kosher all of the time. So did Trump. He said, grab her by the pussy. I don't care. And neither should any conservative. These people who are crying and complaining and whining their eyes out with this false virtue, the worst thing about it, in my experience, is that these people are often the most dirty of them all. As if they're not jerking off the porn at night, as if they're fucking perfect people. The whole thing is a setup and it's a lie. And they need to be more mature. I have been investigated for the last 4 years by 3 different federal agencies. If I had done anything wrong, I'd be in jail. If I had done anything embarrassing to me or anything that was morally reprehensible, it would have been leaked by now. What have they found? 10 years ago, I made a joke on the internet. If that's the reason you think I can't help you keep your children safe from being castrated, then you're a fool.
This has backfired. And it's backfired in your case. It's backfired in Brazil. It's backfiring in France. It's backfiring wherever they're trying these tactics. And you can see the backfire here. This is the hardest image that has ever gone, ever, Andrew. They made him they gave him a rap cover. They gave him a rap album, is what they did. All you need to do is add a parental advisory sticker to the corner of that, and you have the banger of the summer.
Absolutely. I'm a little bit jealous. I mean, I had a couple good ones, but of course I'm happy to lose to Trump. He's the OG, so it's no problem.
Can you talk through this backfire? Many, including some people who served in his administration who were on the stream before you, and also including Trump's legal advisors, have said that he wouldn't have had that this made his case so strong in 2024, that perhaps these are the reason that he won in 2024. So the backfire has been utterly spectacular here. Maybe you can, and you've experienced it yourself, quite frankly. Can you dissect why? Why has the backfire happened, and why has it been so profound?
Yeah, so this is a double-edged sword. There's good and bad. it backfires in the high profile cases where you have a man who's prepared to suffer enough to beat them and stand up and not show cowardice. Because Trump could have easily backed down or showed weakness and destroyed his name, as could I. That's what they wanted me to do when they threw me in a Romanian dungeon, was to destroy my own brand by showing weakness, because they didn't think I could handle Romanian solitary confinement, and they got proved wrong. So in certain scenarios where you have exceptional men who are prepared to do the right thing, it backfires. However, I think the truly heinous thing about this scenario is that this isn't just happening to high-profile men. Unfortunately, our kangaroo courts are also locking up a whole bunch of good, honest men who do not have the profile and perhaps do not have the mental strength to resist these things, to lose their job, to lose their wife, to lose their house, to lose everything, to lose years of their life, to not see their children, to be falsely accused. I would argue a lot of the J6ers are in exactly that scenario. And the most disgusting thing about this is not that it backfires on men like Trump, backfires on men like me. The actual truly heinous thing is that it doesn't backfire on all the forgotten men we cannot name who are currently considering suicide inside of prison cells right now. And that's why this must end and must change immediately. It's disgusting. Trump's victory saved the Western world. I don't think anybody actually understands that if Trump had lost, it would be over. It would be done. You may as well learn Chinese or Russian because it's finished. And now we have 4 years to truly mop up and clean this mess before they all come back. David Hogg has managed to put his dildo down long enough to end up DNC chair. So these little clowns are coming back. We're not going anywhere. And I only pray that Republicans can grow a backbone, stop crying their eyes out over old videos I made, and understand sometimes you have to be a bad guy to do the right thing, like Batman. And we need to clean the swamp, lock these people up, teach them all a lesson, because they're going to resurge. And when they do, they will not have mercy.
This was it's amazing shout out, because it's a clip that we often play. I'm not sure we have it ready, but President Trump looks at a little kid when he's running for president and goes, "I'm Batman." It's incredible. Right before he takes off in his private helicopter. It is what people want right now. President Trump certainly wasn't perfect when he entered. And that's actually what people want. They want a brawler and a bare knuckle fighter, because we are fighting evil people, and evil doesn't rest.
That's right. So this is the thing I have to make clear, because arguing with the liberals is absolutely fine. But when the conservatives cry their eyes out over me, 10 years ago, you said women couldn't drive. I'll say it again right now. I don't like women driving cars. I'd rather drive it myself. You can cry your eyes out all you want. I'm a professional fighter, and we're in a professional fight. This is what I do. If you're going to cry your eyes out over these stupid little things, realizing that we're arguing and combating people who literally want to make you a slave, who want to take your children from you, who want to inject you with poison, and you're going to cry your eyes out over a joke 10 years ago, then you're not in the fight. You're not in the battle. You're a traitor. You need to understand there are bigger things than sitting around being offended by everything. We have a war to win, and war is ugly. And this is the reality. And the reason Batman is such a good analogy is because people don't like Batman. Batman's the bad guy who beats the bad guys. Even the police want to get Batman. That's who Batman is. And we need Batman now. All the time for crying our eyes out is over. Because when they come back, and I truly believe these liberals will regain power at some time in the future, when they come back, they will be merciless. We saw it with J6. It's going to be worse than ever. So we need to win while we can.
Yes. Can we just go to sound on this for just a second? Just have to play it. Just because you gave me, I wasn't planning on this, Andrew, but because you gave me the opportunity, we have to.
Yes. Mr. Trump.
Yes.
Are you Batman?
I am Batman.
Okay. Andrew, maybe some people haven't kept up with the news. We certainly have on our program, but kept up with the news that your file is empty. Maybe they just heard the slanderous headlines about you 2 years ago, and that your file is empty, and that now the Romanian courts have effectively done what they've done here in the American courts, which is thrown out, atomize, and dissolve every charge against Donald Trump because it was political. But I want to perhaps give you an opportunity here to just give us an update as to where this case stands, if there is a case even standing anymore.
The Romanian judicial system is a mess, and it's extremely complicated. So let me make this as simple as possible. 3 years ago, I was arrested and a criminal file was put together. This was instigated by the UK Foreign Office, deliberately telling the Romanians that I am causing problems online and causing problems in their school and to get rid of me. They falsified a case and put me in jail for 4 months. I sat in a Romanian prison, which is the worst prison in Europe, amongst cockroaches for 4 months. I left my house and was on house arrest for 7 months. After that, I was released in freedom, but I must remain inside of Romania. Then I started to win the first case. I started to win by having a lot of the evidence thrown out because the evidence was gathered illegally. Illegal wiretaps, illegal surveillance, false translations, fake witnesses that don't even exist. The whole case was grade A Africa level corruption. I started to win inside of their own kangaroo courts. They then attacked me with a second case. I was arrested again in July of last year. The judge refused to put me in jail. I was only held for 48 hours and then released. As it stands now, a judge has ruled that 100% of the evidence gathered against me is illegal. So I have a criminal file which is open. It is keeping me currently travel banned, but it is empty because the judge has said every single piece of evidence is illegal. So here I stand inside of Romania, this insanely bureaucratic second world country with a criminal file restricting my flight that has nothing in it. Welcome to lawfare. And anyone who thinks J6 was domestic is once again childish. Let me tell you something how J6 worked. If you were too big of a voice online and you were not inside of America, the DOJ rubbed its hands together like an evil villain. They rubbed their hands together and thought, this idiot lives in Romania. He enjoys the mountainside and he enjoys looking at Dracula's castle. Well, we want to get rid of him. And instead of having to damage the reputation of our own judicial system, we can now damage the reputation of Romania's system, which had no reputation in the first place. The DOJ and the UK Foreign Office sends one letter to Romania and said, get rid of this guy. And they get the benefit of someone else doing their dirty work. That's what happened. That's the reason I got picked up and attacked. That's the only reason any of it happened. There was nothing to arrest me for. They made it up. And then what they did is get a bunch of Twitter accounts, because they're the deep state, garbage, to find old jokes I made 10 years ago and try and conflate me saying women can't drive or talking about ex-girlfriends with some form of constant abuse garbage and tweet out bullshit. And the stupid conservatives sit there and go, oh, well, I have a white picket fence and I go to church. Andrew must be bad. If I was guilty of 1% of anything, I'd be in jail, because I've been fighting the hardest possible criminal cases you can fight. Look what Trump went through in America. You should try Romanian court. You should try it with a Romanian judge. You should try Romanian jail. The fact that I am on this live stream shows I am squeaky clean. No drugs, no steroids. I don't drink. Yes, I've had girlfriends in my life. Sorry, you're going to have to get over it. I'm not gay. I'm not David Hogg. That's not a crime. This is all garbage. And the fact that America could use these other countries to do their dirty work was their wet dream come true, because that's exactly what happened to me. The American embassy refused to help me. There was a case in Romania where an American man stabbed 2 Romanian men. Within 48 hours, this was a few years ago, within 48 hours, he was out of the hole and on a plane to America. I sat in solitary for 4 months while the embassy ignored me because they told them to do it.
I'd like to say this is
that's Democrats. For all you conservatives listening, you want to cry your eyes out over me. This is what we're facing. If I was a black, gay basketball player, then we'd trade with Putin for one of the biggest arms dealers in the world. Fine. But because I'm a straight masculine male, I'm allowed to sit and rot. They don't give a shit about you, these Democrats. They will let you just sit in a jail and rot like I did and ignore your emails. They ignored me like I did not exist. If you're voting Democrat, you're voting for a team of people who will leave you to die in a foreign dungeon with no care or concern.
Yep.
You're a fool if you vote for these people. They will let you die in the fire. They will let you die in the flood. They will let you die in jail. They will let you die. And they manage to do this by constantly crying about abortion and convincing you somehow that's more important than your own life. It's garbage that anybody even votes for these people. These people have mental issues. And we need to actually fix this once and for all. Remove the rot, remove all the garbage which is constantly attacking masculinity, restore some parameters on thought, and be hard and firm. I'm sorry I offend you, but women have babies and men can't get pregnant. I'm sorry that offends you that I say it so brutally, but men can't get pregnant and you are mentally ill. That is the bottom line. And I'm going to continue to say it brutally because the alternative is your reign. And your reign is brutal because I experienced it emailing an American embassy that let me sit in solitary confinement for 4 months.
We'd like to say it's unbelievable, but our current president just spoke in a court sentencing where he was still gagged by the judge. This is obviously there's horrors untold happening in Romania. The fact that a president-elect in 10 days is currently gagged by a New York City judge for something that should have been a misdemeanor beyond the statute of limitations. And Trump can't even speak up for himself inside of this court. He just said so live. He's like, I can't talk about this because you'll put me in prison. And the judge threatened to put him in prison for his own free speech here in America. And nobody had any problem with it. And at least on the left. And they were okay with that. They celebrated it. I guess it's not unbelievable. I guess it is the time that we live in, and it's important to be honest about the nature of evil.
We need to stop giving these people credit, because unfortunately, us logical actors on the right give the left a lot of credit. And what we do is we say, oh, they're stupid. Oh, they're dumb. No, stop giving these people an out. Stop giving them credit. They are evil. These people are evil. They do not care about you. They will lie, cheat, steal. They'll abuse the system. They'll murder you. They'll murder your kids. They are evil. Stop calling them dumb, because that is giving them far too much credit and giving them an excuse. They're not stupid. They are evil.
So here is how President Trump has begun fighting back. He got a $15 million payment, ABC News. He sued for defamation and he won. Do you plan on doing this, Andrew?
Oh, yes. I have to be very careful what I say, but I would love everybody to please follow my lawyer on Twitter. His name is Joe McBride. He's a fantastic guy out of New York. He's defended a lot of J6ers as well. Joe McBride. He knows exactly the lines of what can be said in terms of my current defamation suit against one of the girls who has tried to help the Romanian state put me in jail. Her legal defense is also funded by a liberal NGO, which is very interesting. It's almost like the deep state was behind my whole attack from head to toe. But please follow Joe McBride. He knows exactly what to say. And it is my intention to clear my name, because we have to be grown-ups here. I'm an adult, full-grown, professional fighting male athlete. Have I had girlfriends? Yes. Does that make me a criminal? No. This whole moral grandstanding garbage, because it's absolutely insane how they can convince people on our own side to turn on the people who are fighting for them and defending our free rights and our liberties. So please, I'm suing one of the women in Florida who lied about me. She knows she lied. She lied about 7 men, saying that 7 different men had raped her throughout her life. One of them men, unfortunately, committed suicide. This woman is evil. She's put lots of men in jail, and she's being defended by liberal NGOs because she was recruited to try and destroy my life. So please follow Joe McBride, and he'll tell you the whole story.
We have, before we move on to the United Kingdom and your new political party, before we move off this topic, we have a clip that I don't normally do this, but I was profoundly affected by this clip of you outside of the Romanian courthouse. And the reason why is because I would very much like for conservatives and Republicans and freedom-minded people in my country to behave like this. This is how you should treat the press, actually. It's a masterclass in the facing off of those who will lie and slander against you, and will do so for profit, unless you get pushback very shortly here. Here we go.
Something. Huh?
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Tate Show. I wonder if you media ever feel insignificant standing out here wasting your time, considering that we are the media now, and X is the media now, and Elon rules the world. Nobody cares what anything is put on these channels. I don't know if anyone even watches them. I don't know who pays for this. You guys are all here. You got to feed your families. You're going home. You got to pay the heating bill. Nobody gives a shit what any of you guys post at all, because all you've ever done since the beginning of our case, in fact, since the beginning of way back from before COVID, is lie, 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 lie. All you do is lie. Everyone knows you're liars. Nobody cares anything. If he interrupts me again, my exclusive interview with all of you is over. Okay. This young little man might ruin it for everybody.
I'm not going to.
It's okay. So nobody gives a shit what the mainstream media says. We are the media now. We've taken control back. Donald Trump is going to annex Greenland and take Canada and take Mexico, take all of it. The American empire is back. We're done with this crap. Elon owns X. I get to tell the truth. All of your lies are being exposed. And I cannot wait for the disinfectant of sunlight to come down and exonerate my brother and I, because we have done nothing wrong since the beginning of this. And the media has done nothing but accuse us of being human traffickers over and over and over again, trying to damage our name, knowing we're innocent. And here we are 3 years later with the case completely thrown out. Whole thing was bullshit from the beginning. In fact, I think the media owes me an apology. Does anyone here who has a good heart, who's done nothing but slander us from 3 years, feel like they should say the word sorry? Anybody? One guy's nodding his head. You're a good man, sir. You're a good man. We'll find out his name.
I accept your apology.
We're going to send you a Christmas present.
All right. How do you instill? Because there are off the top of my head, there are like 2,700 different conservatives who serve in office, who have been wrongfully slandered by the media, who cower in fear against the press, and who don't approach them like that. And this happens all the time in Congress, in the halls of Congress. And I used to work in the halls of Congress, who cower and are fearful about everything that's going to be printed. And I can name them right now. Members of Republican leadership who still like are shaking like a leaf for any New York Times headline that could be printed about them that's naughty. How do you instill that these people are actually ghosts, and if you turn on the light, they disappear?
Absolutely, you nailed it. If you turn on the light, they disappear. It's extremely important that we rid this from our ranks. I don't even give these people the respect that the way they walk around with a badge as if that means something. They get no respect from me. I don't know if you saw my interview with the BBC when I first left jail, and Lucy Williams sat with me, and she tried in my own house, because I was on house arrest at the time, to grill me. And I made it very clear to her that nobody watches the BBC, and the only reason they are is because of me. I am the star, and nobody cares about you. You have no content unless I talk to you. And if you want to talk over me and disrespect me in my own house, you're going to be gone, because you have no authority. You're not the police. You're not the FBI. You can't put me in jail. You're a clown who works for a liberal establishment who doesn't even have his own point of view. You're a puppet. So I don't know why anybody even respects these people. And it's very important now, especially that we have X. We treat the media as what it is. The media is the propaganda arm of the Matrix. It's the propaganda arm of the deep state. They have no interest in telling the truth ever. So I don't know why you're speaking to them like a logical actor. Every time I talk to them, I remind them of their absolute insignificance and do my best to try and sow division within their ranks. That video we just watched, at the end, I said, is anyone sorry? And one guy nodded his head and kind of did this because he knew that they'd been unfair to us. And I said I was going to buy him a present. I bought him a BMW yesterday. So now someone's going to go in a brand new BMW to the office, and they're going to ask how he got it. He's going to say, I got it by telling the truth about Tate. We're not going to make all these journalists start telling the truth. We'll have enough money to buy endless BMWs. So that's how I do it. I sow division. I tell them they're liars. I see who agrees with me, and I reward those who have any kind of semblance of honor.
So you would be in charge of the budget for the BBC were you to become the Prime Minister of England. I believe that's the goal. That's the setup here. I don't know if we can zoom out here and show the two British flag. We have two Union Jacks on the side of you. Talk me through this new party. Talk me through the thought process here. You say that a lot of your persecution, a lot of the prosecutorial evidence or push was from England. And this is definitely ruffling a lot of feathers. You're getting members of Congress to actually respond to you now. And that's quite fascinating. So the floor is yours, Andrew.
I'm prepared to be the person who's going to do the difficult things that need to be done. I don't believe there's anybody currently within the UK political establishment who's prepared to be a bad guy. If you enter politics to be liked, you're in the wrong job. And I don't care if you like me or not. I don't care if you hate me with all your guts. Your streets will be safer, the economy will be stronger, and your border will be secure. You can hate me all you want, but I will improve your life because I'm prepared to do whatever it takes. And I'm a person who is now immune to the Matrix's primary weapon, which is using the media machine to slander you with made-up terms. They want you to ignore basic pattern recognition, and if you don't, they're going to call you racist, misogynistic, homophobic, whatever it is. I've been called those things for 5 long years. The BBC has mentioned my name in a negative light every day for 5 years. I'm the board. I've adapted. Their phasers no longer affect me. I don't care if I am called these things. I care about getting the job done. And there's nobody else within the UK establishment who's currently prepared to do that. UK politics is not like American politics. I can run an MP in every single constituency for around 1.5 million. I probably spend that on lunch a month. So it doesn't matter to me. And I'll continue to try until I win. The youth is mine. These old people are dying. The country's in decline. And as people get more desperate and look for more and more radical choices, they're going to see my competency, which is on permanent display in nearly every single interview I do. They're going to want to give me a chance because they have nothing else to lose. So I will run for general election. And I truly believe on a long enough time frame, the chance of me becoming the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom is somewhere around 100%.
The Bruv Party. Am I saying this correctly?
Correct. Bruv. Yes, bruv. Vote bruv.
Bruv Party. I think we have actually the website for it right here. And we also have the X handle. Talk me through some of the restoring underlying values of British society that you're running on here.
Well, Britain no longer has a culture, right? We have to talk about this multiculturalism because it's one of the largest semantic tricks that currently is being inflicted upon populations. When they say multiculturalism, it's a semantic trick because they control the language. They always control the language. Guys, if you want to really fight the matrix, you need to start understanding how language is controlled. When a terrorist kills someone, it's a brutal attack. When we kill people, it's a tactical strike. Do you understand? It's two dead bodies, but it's just a difference in language. So when they say multiculturalism, they try and make you understand that we have two cultures side by side with no conflict, no bleed, no infection of the other, no malice. Everything's perfect because it's multicultural. But this is not how it works. The reason Britain is falling apart is because England doesn't feel like England anymore. This is not about skin color. I'm half black, half white. It's not about skin color. It's about the fact that people are coming in who don't speak English, who don't respect British culture at all. And England no longer feels like England. If you have a glass of water and a glass of milk and you mix them together, you no longer have water or milk. It's not multicultural. It's a brand new culture of resentment, hate, and distrust. And this is why nobody wants to pay their taxes. Nobody looks after their neighbor. Everybody's trying to steal as much as possible. And most of the British millionaires are moving to Dubai. In fact, I don't know a single person with money who's still in England. Everybody is leaving. I think they lost 9,500 millionaires last year, the worst in Europe. It's an exodus of everybody with talent, an exodus of finance, and it's a brain drain. And it's time that everybody wakes up. So to restore the underlying values of the UK, I'm going to make England feel like England again. And as somebody who grew up in England, I know exactly how that feels. I know how it felt in 1997. That's what we're going back to. The British people who are watching this understand exactly what I'm saying. And I also know exactly how to fix the issues. I grew up in Luton. I grew up on a council estate, single parent household in the worst area of the country. I grew up around knife crime. I grew up around drug dealers. I had my house robbed. I was stabbed. I've had all these things happen to me. I know how to fix them. I'm not a squeaky clean person because you don't come out of my situation squeaky clean. Of course not. But I am a person who's lived through enough to know how to fix the issues. So for this reason, my primary objective once I become Prime Minister of the UK is very much like the broken windows policy. I'm going to bring back the cultural cohesion policy. I want people to feel like they belong there. I want people to feel like they love their neighbor. I want people to recognize their country. And to do that is actually very simple. We're going to clean up everything. We're going to get rid of the crime. I'm going to put plainclothes police officers all over London. If you attempt to rob one of them, they're going to use lethal force. I'm going to use the Royal Navy to destroy dinghies at the border. It's going to go back to being Great Britain. If you don't speak English, you shouldn't be there.
I think that zero trust society is the worst possible society to live in. It's what you're seeing right now in Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, you're seeing that these homes are being looted by criminal gangs that have come here over an open border. This is systematic. It is a military operation that's run by the cartels. These people have already lost everything, and now what little they have is being plundered. It is an anarcho-tyranny society, and it's the worst possible way to live. And so we want to.
It's you know, it's very important that we say here, and this kind of ties into the things I was saying earlier about all the Christians and the conservatives who cry their eyes out about me. We need to understand something. Your morality and your virtue and your endless empathy is going to get you destroyed. There are evil people who are conniving. There are evil people who are opportunistic. There are evil people who are psychopathic. There are sociopaths. There are people from war zones who grew up amongst violence. These people are now living amongst you. You can't sit around crying over words on Twitter anymore. You need to get your balls and get your backbone, because these people are coming and, like you said, looting houses in the middle of a wildfire. They will start a fire and burn down 100 houses to rob one. They don't care. And to sit around and be so suicidally empathetic, to be suicidally moral, and to sit and say, well, I'm a good person and he deserves a fair chance and we all deserve to help people. You're going to get destroyed. There becomes a bottom line. Morality is such a funny conversation. Is it moral to do the right thing by a criminal if that criminal then murders 10 more people afterwards? Does that make you a good person? Are you moral? Sometimes the most moral thing you can do is put a bullet in someone's head. Sometimes morality is violence. Sometimes morality is protection. I don't understand how these Democrat-run cities don't yet understand it, and hopefully this wildfire will wake them up. Because the people who are invading the United States do not love America. They see it as a place they can extract value from. They see it as a whore they can rape. That's what they see it as. And they see every single person inside of it as the exact same thing. And unless we grow a backbone and start laying down the line and making it clear, if you don't love England, you shouldn't be there. If you don't love America, you shouldn't be there. You could be any skin color. You can be any religion. But you better love this place. You better love the place you're in. You want to come to our country, run your mouth, intend on robbing everybody you can, disrespect us, disrespect the natives, disrespect the law enforcement, and then we're going to sit there as conservatives like dumbasses and go, oh, well, it's free speech. These people will kill you. We need to lay lines. There has to be lines in the sand because otherwise we are going to lose. I tell you, when I'm in charge of Great Britain, anybody who's disrespecting our flag, anybody is instantly and permanently deported. Anybody.
So those are the policies of the Bruv Party. I guess you could call it. England first. Andrew, we have a special guest that is joining us right now. Somebody who noticed that you would be on our show and wanted to say hello. This is the attorney for President Trump, somebody who has been a fighter for the America First Party. Her name is Alina Habba, and she joins us live right now.
Hi.
Hello, Alina.
Hi.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. I'm a big fan.
Well, nice
Big
to meet
fan.
you. I'm a fan. You're the one saving Trump. You're doing more important work than me.
America, not just Trump. And I agree with everything you just said. And I think that your anger is the same that President Trump has for our country. And the time is now for us to stop being wimps. I think that's exactly the right sentiment. And I also have to say that I sympathize with you because I think you go through a lot of the same show me the person, I'll find the crime that President Trump has gone through. And it's ironic that Benny has you on today because, as you know, President Trump just got sentenced in what literally will be one of the most tragic stories in American history and democracy and the justice system that I used to be proud of being a part of. But I agree with everything you say. And I have your back out here in the States. And when I saw that you were going to be on, I said to Benny, I have to meet Andrew Tate. There is literally only one person with the same amount of anger and fire, and that's probably me and President Trump. But it's because you love what's right. And you're being under siege, and I see it. And just keep fighting. I mean, I'm here for it. You know, there is no time anymore for weakness. We are being destroyed, and we need strong, powerful voices like yours. And yeah, I got your back over here.
Well, I tell you, if I ever get stateside, and I think I will sooner or later, if I ever need a lawyer, I'll be calling your phone. But you know, it's very important. It's very important, and this is something we need to understand because when you're animated or when you're angry, people call you hateful. And that's one of the semantic tricks I was discussing earlier that the left love to use. You're not hateful if you love something. They'll call you hateful of whatever. They'll call you hateful of immigrants, but it's not hateful of immigrants. It's love for your country. They will take your love and turn it into hate. This is a semantic trick. Do not let these people tell you you're a hateful person for loving something and wanting to stick up for something and being passionate about something. This is one of the tricks they use most often. And they say it to me all the time. You're so animated, you're so angry, you're full of hate. I said, actually, what I am is full of love, and I'm full of principles, and I'm prepared to suffer. And that's the difference.
Yeah, that is the difference. And I think that when I come outside of courtrooms, I'm obviously known for these things. And now I hope to be doing it outside the White House on the front lawn. And I'll tell you right now, that's a love. That's a love for our country and a love for what's right. And I am sick and tired of people trying to take it away from us and then pretending they love our country. And that is the damn truth. That is what this administration has done. I've had quite enough of it. And that is why I frankly chose to go into the White House. I'm so excited to have a say now to help America from inside. And I will tell you that I am going to do everything I can to make sure that what happened today never, ever happens again. It is a disgusting situation. Everybody's called me names for years, Andrew, just like you. It doesn't matter. You call me names, that means I'm effective. You tell me that I'm angry, it only means that I'm passionate. And if you're afraid of me, you will do all of those things. And they should be, because I truly, truly care for America first, just like President Trump. And I've been frankly honored with every hit piece that they hit me with. Isn't that right, Benny? You know, they hit me hard, but I just keep going. It doesn't affect me. If anything, makes me stronger. So I admire you. I admire what you're doing. I'm right there with you. And yeah, you're good. If you're in the States, I got your back.
Well, I cannot wait to come home. I have to deal with, I mean, you've seen it in New York, but I promise you the only place worse is Romania. You would not believe the stories that I will one day tell.
No, I've been watching, and it's very clear what the problem is. You have a strong voice. You have a lot of followers. You are much like President Trump in that way. You have influence. And when people have influence, they have to fight harder. And unfortunately, you are a victim of that. I see it. That doesn't make you a victim. You're a strong person, but they'll hit you as hard as they possibly can because of that. And it's a disgrace what they're doing. You know, obviously I don't know the facts of your case, but I know that it probably wouldn't be happening if you were not yourself. And that's very similar to my client. And just,
well, here's something I love to say. And I said it in Romanian court, but I don't think the judge even spoke English, which shows how crazy my entire case is. But I said, your ability to speak freely is directly correlated with your irrelevance. And if you're large enough and too many people listen, your ability to speak freely quickly disappears. And they may not charge you with breaking a speech crime in America. In Europe, they certainly will, to make it very clear why they're getting you, but they'll get you for something else.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And I don't doubt that down the road, if we don't fix this problem, I'm on that chopping block. I think that that's an un-American and undemocratic, frankly, thing to do. That's third world stuff. My parents fled Baghdad. That's why they fled. I'm not going to allow my country or any place to become that as long as I have a say. And I can tell you that's top of mind for me. You know, we're going into DC. I'm moving this week, getting excited, but I'll never forget what we went through for the last 3.5 years with President Trump. And it's time to fix it. It's enough talk. And like you said, enough tweeting, enough media. It's time to get to work. So
can't wait.
Alina, very quickly here, because President Trump said it, and we talked about it earlier with Andrew, Donald Trump is currently gagged by Juan Merchan and wasn't allowed to even speak freely in his own defense at his sentencing. Right. What's the next steps, as you've been a legal counselor to Donald Trump for the better part of the last 3 years, and you'll be joining him in the White House? What is the strategy here moving forward to make sure that no American ever has to put up with this ever again?
Yeah. So this is the beauty of me being in the West Wing, is that I can help with many different elements, because I think it's a part of everything. I think it's the DOJ. I think it's the Attorney General. It's the FBI. It's the CIA. It's everybody that does anything wrong, that coordinates with an administration to hurt a political party. It cannot happen anymore. So if I were to go into the FBI, I wouldn't really be able to touch the AG. If I were able to go into the AG's office, and I love Pam and I love Cash, I would only be siloed in that, where I'm excited to actually be able to look into all of it, coordinate, and make sure everyone is cooperating from right in the West Wing. And that's what needs to happen, because if we don't have that, then everybody's marching to their own orders, their own drums. And I'm not going to see that happen once again. You know, we saw people from the DOJ come in and sit in state court to go after President Trump. We saw the FBI going after moms because they care about their children's well-being in schools. You know, all of that doesn't just come from Merrick Garland. It comes from the administration. It comes from the top, and that is the President of the United States. So the president that I'm working for, I can tell you, after what they did today, after what they've done to him for years, is going to ensure that 0 Americans will ever have this happen to him. And I will make sure of it with him. And I can tell you that I want to thank Judge Merchan and DA Bragg and all of these people, the people that attack, the people that are attacking Andrew Tate. It's the same thing. All you're doing is making us stronger. And if there was any question of that, look at the polls. Look at what he did. Every swing state. And we fought hard. But we fought hard for people to understand the truth. And when we spoke to it, they saw it. They saw the relentless attacks. It's like Andrew, relentless attacks. He goes into a court, they don't speak English. I go into a court, I'm told I can't speak as an attorney. I'm not even the defendant. And this is all going to stop, I can assure you, because God forbid we leave. We can't have this happen again in 4 years. It's not going to happen while we're there, because we don't do that. President Trump could have put Hillary Clinton away. We know that. And he didn't. And that's just because it's not the right thing to do. But I will tell you, they crossed that line. And now it's time to look into what actually happened, but more importantly, put in some policy, some regulations that nobody can ever put or fund the the Soroses of the world cannot fund political opponents through AGs and DAs. I will not leave until I'm sure that that is taken care of. I can assure you.
You know, this is so important because I don't think many people understand that if America falls, there is nowhere else to go. I'm over here in Romania, which is NATO sphere. It's an American vassal state, but it's close to Moldova. It's close to Russia. It's very close to Ukraine. This is currently actually the most strategic country in the world for the Ukraine war, which is why they just overthrew their own election because an anti-war guy won. So they threw the election away. It's absolute chaos over here. But the point I'm making is people say to me, well, you know, when all this case is over, why would you even stay in the West? Why don't you move to Russia or whatever? No, my home is America. And if America falls, you're not going to find more freedom anywhere else. You're never going to be free in Russia or China or Iran. Like, where do you think you're going to run? There's nowhere to go. You have to protect America and protect our home and keep it sovereign, free, and democratic. Because once you lose that, there is literally nowhere else on the planet you're going to have a semblance of it. And you're going to find yourself very quickly dealing with courts, which are even worse than the ones we're dealing with in the West currently. So this is a fight for not only our way of life, this is a fight for our future, a fight for our children to even have a country they can be proud of. This is the most important thing ever. And when I speak to men and they say, I'm not really political, I often just look at them and say, you don't care about your future? You don't care about your country? You don't care about the taxes you pay? We all need to be political and we all need to get serious, and we have to. We have to.
Yeah. Maybe a quick closing question for the both of you, given the fact that you're both young and both very, very involved in politics in the largest and extreme possible extent. A message to young people about their nation, because I do think there is a bit of apathy. Perhaps the fever is being broken right now. A lot of young people voted for Trump, and very much Gen Z millennials delivered for President Trump in 2024. Yet there does seem to be quite a bit of apathy. And I think that the enemy seizes on that apathy and then is able to take your freedoms if you actually don't care or fight for them. And perhaps a message about what got you active and involved, and why young people should actually care about protecting women, about protecting their sovereignty, and about protecting their rights.
I would just say, stop being wimps. Stop being wimps. We've raised wimps. My children, I have no tolerance for wimps. I have no tolerance. Not everybody gets a trophy. And we've created this very weak society where people were afraid to wear MAGA hats. People were afraid to, people come up to me and they tell me, oh, I'm so excited that I can wear my MAGA hat now. And I look at them and I go, why couldn't you wear it before?
Yes.
So you want me to say, oh, thank you for wearing it now? No, why weren't you wearing it before? 3.5 years ago, when it wasn't cool to represent President Trump or stand outside and scream for him, that's when I stood up. So stop being weak. You have an opinion. Everyone has an opinion. It's just about, in my opinion, weakness. So weak people, the cream always rises to the top, but you better have a backbone. And I think unfortunately, some very weak individuals, and that has to change with parenting and supporting people with different opinions. I'm all for getting in an argument with somebody. You have to be able to do that. God knows Andrew is.
We know.
I'll leave it to him.
Been around.
Yeah, fight. It's okay to fight. It's okay.
Yeah. And I think also that's very important. A lot of the weak people, or a lot of the people who say they're not interested in politics, I think they feel that if they're not interested or they're not involved, they're avoiding this battle. And they don't understand that this battle is for all of us. And you have a choice especially as a man. You can stand up and fight your enemy, or you can hide in the sand. But if the enemy wins, they're going to kill you just the same. You can die in glorious battle and perhaps you'll die first. Or you can die 10 minutes later when they finally get through the castle walls and find you quivering in a corner like a little baby. But either way, you're going to die. So I think the best thing you can do is try your best to resist enslavement. Try your best to fight, even if it makes your life a little bit harder. Even if you do die first, at least you get to die like a man with honor. So I was never afraid of them. I'm not afraid of jail. I'm not afraid of what they do to me. I'm not afraid of any of it because I know that I'll go down swinging. What I would be afraid of is shutting up, hiding in my room, trying not to do anything controversial, allowing these demons to win, and then getting an extra few years of life doing nothing consequential before I'm eventually eradicated anyway.
Alina, I can't let you go without asking a question about the Obama conversation. Speaking of not being afraid of jail, President Trump facing down Barack Obama yesterday, and not only causing Obama to laugh, but the two of them really getting on. Do you have any insights into what happened yesterday? And what does this mean for Trump's next term? It seems like the bridges are being built and they're very strong.
Hi, I'm Alina Habba. I'm President Trump's attorney and counselor to the president. If I answered that question, I'd be silly, but I will tell you this. President Trump is smart. He is a businessman. That is why our country was run so well. In business, if you cower, if you don't look the person in the eye that is trying to steal your business, you lost it. So I think that says it all. That is what was going down. President Trump won. They tried everything they could, and he won. And I would be worried. I don't see why he wouldn't be talking to President Trump. But if you think President Trump's afraid of him, maybe you haven't been watching as an American TV in every courtroom, or I wouldn't be famous. But he is not fearful. It's like what Andrew's saying. We're just not fearful people, and you can't be. And in that moment, look, he's the man about to be the 47th president of the United States. And, you know, in my opinion, I think Obama's been running the show since the day he walked in. His people never left. He's a puppeteer. And I think it's the American people spoke very loudly. We're done with your show. We're closing the curtain. And, you know, I'd buckle up.
I'd buckle up. I mean, we can only speculate as to what joke President Trump told that would cause Barack Obama to actually belly laugh here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nervous laughter is a real thing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we certainly know. We've been the subject of plenty of it. The two of you fight, and it's amazing. The both of you have been on the courthouse steps, fighting for your clients, fighting for yourselves, and fighting for freedom in this world. It's the most honorable thing you can possibly do. And they did want everyone to fold and to cry mascara down the sides of their faces and to whimper and to ask for forgiveness. And some people did, to their great shame, eternal shame. But the two of you didn't. And we really respect that. And so
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Godspeed to the both of you. And we hope to do this again soon. This has been really fun.
Thanks for letting me crash your party.
That's right. You'll have the podium next time, Alina.
No, I don't.
All right, you guys, we're going to end the video right there. But I loved what Andrew Tate had to say. I love what Alina Habba had to say. Both extremely strong individuals fighting for a good cause. It's important for us to share this information and get it out there. This is a battle against good versus evil. You know, this channel is on the right side, the good side, and we will not be taken down. But let me know what you guys thought about this interview. Leave some comments below, like and subscribe. Please share the channel. That's it for this one. I'm out.